we like to help
Right.
where we can, where it can make the biggest impact with the money.
So, like some of those, the quarterly ones, we'll do actually 5 and split it 5,000 each
Right.
for the 25,000. We'll do 2 at 12, 5, 3, however that's divided in, and we'll just kind of decide at the time. But this, as Chris has said a lot, we've been interviewed for this is not only Notre Dame, we know they get their fair share,
Right.
and national charities and foundations do as well. Not to say that they aren't great things to contribute to, but we like the local aspect of understanding that even if it's $5,000 goes a long way to a foundation or a charity in the South Bend area. 5,000, 10,000, 25,000.
You heard that there. That's Chris and Mike Golic talking about why it's important that the Golic Family Foundation focuses its resources in having a positive impact locally in the South Bend and Mishawaka area. More of that later, but first, thank you for listening to another episode of Round the Bend Now and Then. My name is Matt Emery, and I'm a local history nerd. My main mission in this podcast, as well as other Round the Bend material, is to create engaging content that shares how intertwined the South Bend and Mishawaka area's past is to our present. In the podcast, I interview local leaders, business owners, and community members to help tell their stories, because their stories help tell the story of South Bend and Mishawaka. As most of you all know, I love sharing stories from our local history. But you also know that I'm passionate about the South Bend and Mishawaka area, and I want to see it shine. And after being in education for darn near the last quarter of a century, I'm convinced that it takes a village to help a community shine. And a part of that village are charitable organizations that help those that need it the most. And I feel it's important that I highlight some of these local businesses and organizations that do so much to care for others. In this episode, I meet with Mike and Chris Golic, and as you'll hear, their connection to our area goes back decades. Because of their deep ties with the community, a few years back, they established the Golic Family Foundation, whose mission is to provide support to some wonderful local charitable efforts already going on in our community. To date, their donations have totaled over $250,000, all contributed to charities right here in our own community. I wanted to meet with them both to shine a light on the Golic Family Foundation, but also to hear a few stories about their longtime relationship with the South Bend area. I am so thankful that we were able to meet virtually over the interweb a few days ago. In addition to being a crazy local history nerd, an even longer obsession of mine has been sports. I legitimately cannot tell you a moment in my life that I did not like sports. And also, I cannot tell you a moment in my life that I was not a fan of the University of Notre Dame. So I knew all about the Golic's love of Notre Dame and the community because I literally have been listening to Mike on various sports talk radio shows for over 20 years. And most of those years listening to him every single morning, Monday through Friday, on Mike and Mike in the morning. So needless to say, it was truly out of this world to get to do this interview, and I'm so gracious and appreciative that Mike and Chris spent a few minutes meeting. We start the interview out by talking about their relationship to the South Bend area, and as you'll hear, they both fondly recall a few historical locations that are now sadly lost to time. We then talk about the Golic Family Foundation and their upcoming, now third annual, Golic Subpar Classic. So folks, definitely head to golicfamilyfoundation.com, learn all about what you can do to help others in our community. You can find the link to golicfamilyfoundation.com right in the show notes to this episode. I just have a few announcements and favors. Announcement. All of our previous audio episodes are now uploaded to YouTube, and as each one is released, they'll also be available on YouTube as well. In addition to the audio episodes, I'll continue to create visual content as well. I currently have 3 different video episodes, each with historical pictures, maps, dynamic narration by yours truly, and even on-the-scene videos and reporting, also by yours truly. Be sure to go to our YouTube channel, @Round the Bend Now and Then, subscribe, and check out the content. A few favors. As always, please be sure to hit the download, like, or subscribe button on whatever podcast app that you listen to us on. Follow us on social media at Round the Bend Pod or at Round the Bend 574 on Twitter, Round the Bend Now and Then on Facebook, and all of our links are in the show notes as well. My last favor is to please pass on the good word about the content. Now, here is my interview with Mike and Chris Golic.
I mentioned that I was an educator in the area here, a principal. I'm at Marquette School currently in South Bend.
Okay.
But I started my career literally, Mike, as Mike and Mike had kind of started 20 plus years ago. And your voices were the sound of the Emery household's mornings.
Sorry about that.
No. And it was neat the way that you kind of shared about your family and how authentic you were. And I was raising my young family. So just thank you.
Oh, no.
How old are your kids now?
We have a 16-year-old at Adams High School here, Aiden, and then a 23-year-old, Dylan, who graduated from IU recently.
Oh, great. Awesome.
That's great.
So, yep, and they're kind of, they don't need us as much, so my wife Annie and I are kind of rediscovering a ton of time together.
Empty nesters.
Almost empty nesters, yes. That's nice.
But regardless, since I've been a fan for over 2 decades, I know how much the Notre Dame and South Bend community means to you guys.
Yeah.
And on my Round the Bend Now and Then podcast, I try to share some stories from our area's past and our history, but I also want to shine a light on some of the positive things that go on in our community too. And so over the next few minutes, I'd like to highlight the Golic Family Foundation and also just talk to you about, your experiences and stories with the South Bend Notre Dame area over the years. And just some background here. Obviously, Mike, you played football at Notre Dame in the early 80s. And Chris, you attended St. Mary's around that same time. So both of you have had a relationship at least for 40 years with Notre Dame. What are your earliest memories of Notre Dame in the South Bend area? Your initial thoughts upon visiting here?
Well, mine was different because I got here first when I was 12 years old. My brother Bob was a freshman in 1975. And so I was, I was just 12 at that point. So I actually got to experience Notre Dame from 12 to 15 when my brother Bob was there. And then my brother Greg came here to play football a year before me. So I got to experience it more with people on my level. And then I came here in 1981, same year Chris did, in 81 at St. Mary's. So I had a little different perspective where I got to view it as a teenager, view it as a actual student athlete, and then as an actual parent of student athletes. So we kind of ran the gamut. So I had a bunch of experience, and for Chris and I, we actually met the first day of school. So we've known each other a long time.
Chris, do you remember your first thoughts when you came here?
Well, my story was interesting. I grew up in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, and my brothers went to St. Lawrence High School, and there were some Christian brothers that were friends of our family. And when I was a senior in high school, these 2 Christian brothers loaded me up into the car and took me to St. Mary's for my visit. I mean, I'm coming with 2 Christian brothers, and they told me, this is where you're going to go to school. And I applied to one school, St. Mary's, got in, and the rest is history. I came here with the visit. I loved it and didn't fight too hard to go anyplace else. So, I mean, that's just how it happened for me.
And now 40 plus years later, I mean, you've continued your connections with the area. My goodness, your 3 children went to Notre Dame. You've chosen to own a home here, created a charitable organization here. All these years later, or at that time when you both graduated, did you ever think that your ties would be this deep?
I think when you leave the school, you have a strong bond. You've created a strong bond. I don't know if we knew to what extent it would be, where life would take us, but it was always going to play a big part in our lives. I started brainwashing our kids very early on about wanting to come here. So, it was never really far from our mind as far as coming back, visiting, and, being a part of it. It always felt like home, it became your second home while you were at school here. And that never really leaves you, I don't think.
We were always going to come back and visit, but then when the kids started going here, I mean, it was their goal to go here. So obviously there was a break when we graduated in 85. I went to the NFL, and We got married a couple years into the NFL, started having kids in 89, but still always followed Notre Dame. And then, like Chris said, we kind of brainwashed them with things in the house. It became their goals to go there. So then when you have, my two brothers go there, Chris and I go there, Chris's sister went to St. Mary's, Chris's sister's daughter is going to be a freshman at St. Mary's coming up here in August. We have 3 kids that go to Notre Dame. So Notre Dame was our life, and we experienced so many things here that we always wanted to live here. We owned a couple of condos while the kids were here, and then we sold those and bought a house on Notre Dame Ave, which we'll keep forever. I mean, it's a great
Notre Dame
meeting
Ave.
place. Yeah.
I'm a local. I love our local history, and so I've been up and down Notre Dame Ave as of recent, getting all the pictures of the awesome streetcar line, the rails that went down the middle,
right
down on South Bend Avenue, all the awesome old brick. Like I'm the local history nerd out there getting pictures of that stuff. That's neat.
Yeah. So, and as our kids grew up and they spread across the country, our son Jake's in Boston with his family, and then our daughter Sydney's in Scottsdale with her family. And Mike is in Manhattan Beach, California. So everybody's spread out across the country doing their thing. Notre Dame and South Bend was always the one local, focal point where everybody wanted to come back and everybody was willing to come back and meet. So we thought having a house here just made sense because everybody loves to come back and visit the old place. So
that's neat. That's cool. And since your roots do run so deep here, you do have some historical knowledge of the area. Golic, I know you have said you're not a scholar, but I guarantee you have some historical knowledge. I'm going to say the names of a few legendary local landmarks, and I want you to let me know what the first thing that pops in your head is.
Like how many times I drank there?
Darn, see, you are a scholar. You're even a soothsayer. You could tell the future. So one of the historical landmarks that I want to say, the first thing that pops in your head, Bridget McGuire's.
Oh, God. The great thing about Bridget's, well, 2 things. Chris's 21st, she got ungodly drunk. She lost
quarter beers. I love it.
Yeah, quarter beers, and I got her a shot that I don't even remember what was in it.
I remember. 151 rum, Tabasco sauce, and then it was...
We threw some whiskey over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ended my night.
That she became a jellyfish at that point. One of the best things about Bridget's was at the end of the night, whoever it was, ingenious, they had the popcorn cart behind Bridget's, and they would have a bag of popcorn and they would have actual melted cheese and
like
just
cheese
pour, all melted and just pour it over the top. And you're talking about students at 2 to 3 in the morning looking to eat something, just digging your hands in that. Oh my God. It was the smartest move in the world.
It was one of the best places here.
One of the best places. So yes, we frequented that place quite a bit.
Now the kids talk about Vesuvio's pizza place.
Yeah, right.
Downtown near one of the bars.
Right.
It's a small pizza place, and they would go in there at like 2:00 in the morning and
have their fill.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that I think they probably went to Blarney Stone or whatever's downtown. And I think Vesuvio's Pizza was right next to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be. The original Corby's Tavern.
Oh God. That was one of the first places I went into, quite honestly, with some of my teammates. And I still can't believe when we've come back, Chris and I, before they tore it down, we look at it from the outside, how small it was.
So small.
The amount of people that got jammed in there, and then at a certain part of the night, they put the plywood over the pool table so people could stand on that just to have more room and or dance, whatever they wanted to do. It was stunning what a tiny place that was, but man, that was 5 Points. That was us, with that and Bridget's and the Commons and all that. It was that's where we were.
And I was telling Mike recently, you did the podcast on what happened with the Corby's owner.
Oh yeah.
And that was at the beginning of our senior year. We had no
idea. No clue.
That went on. No idea. So
really?
It was very interesting.
It was pre all the social media and all that stuff. And so all the hype, and it didn't really get out that the circumstances behind of his death until a couple of years later.
Right.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And like she said, we were here. Then again, when you're in college, you kind of have blinders on to, having to study, play football and partying. That's,
and pick up on local news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's funny. And speaking of the old 5 Point, I do have another question about the changes over the years. Freshmen coming in now have no clue what it would have looked like when you guys were freshmen. So just talk to me in general, just about your thoughts about the changes over the years.
Well, I mean, I think that, you look back and like nostalgia, you want it to kind of stay the same.
Yeah.
Like the fact that 5 points is gone
Yeah.
is sad to us. But what they come to now and what they have
It's unreal.
it's wonderful. I mean, it's you can't stand still. You got to keep moving. So
It's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be evolution.
Yep.
I
Right.
mean, Eddy Street was a field
right.
when we were here. Now, I mean, look what they have
True.
to go to, the apartments there and everything. The one thing that I did like about, 5 Points where we went is we could walk. You didn't have to get in a car anywhere. When our kids were here, they had to do,
Taxis.
taxis. It wasn't even really Ubers then. It was
Right.
taxi. They knew they had certain favorite taxi drivers, and taxi drivers would give them their number. And at the end of the night, 2 or 3 in the morning, they'd call them, and that's how but they would have to taxi everywhere. We got to drive. We got to walk.
Mhm.
So that was pretty cool. And then senior year, I got pretty lucky. Well, we did because we hung out at Senior Bar a little more, which is now Legends. But my roommate was the manager of Senior Bar. So we had unlimited beer all the time, and we hung out. We hung out a lot at Legends our senior year because my roommate ran the place.
That served John well too, because he went on to become an upper management in
Arby's,
Friendly's.
yeah.
He's made the rounds a little bit, but yeah, that basis.
Him running
that
Senior
foundation.
Bar
Yeah.
helped him run some of
Hey.
the great fast food restaurants around the country.
If you can run a bar with
Yeah.
200 inebriated seniors and juniors in college, I think you could run a fast food
I
spot.
would agree. So
And now, a brief word from one of our sponsors. I want to thank In Rug Co. for sponsoring this episode. All of Round the Bend Now and Then's podcasts, interviews, YouTube videos, and social media posts are all focused on local South Bend, Mishawaka, and Granger content. In addition to creating the content, I'm currently at the point where I am now working to partner with businesses and organizations to sponsor episodes. But not just any old business. I'm striving to seek partners who are local businesses or a local organization, because being a part of their growth or success means that I'm contributing to the overall success of our community. And In Rug Co. is as local as you can get. If you've never heard of In Rug Co., let me tell you. Indiana Rug Company started in 1985 right here in the South Bend and Mishawaka area, specializing in custom handmade area rugs. And almost 30 years later, they're still going strong. They're still creating beautiful, one-of-a-kind area rugs and offering other carpet binding services. But they've grown into so much more. They opened a brick-and-mortar retail store, In Rug Co. Studio and Gift Shop, located at 220 East Mishawaka Avenue in Mishawaka, right across from the entrance to Central Park. In Rug Co. itself is located in a cool, old, historic Mishawaka storefront, but what's inside is even better. I can pretty much tell you that any fan of this podcast and other Round the Bend content would be a fan of In Rug Co., as the first thing that caught my attention as soon as I walked inside was the selection of locally themed merchandise. I mean, where else are you going to find Scottsdale Mall or USA Skate Center merch or a t-shirt that says Michiana versus everybody? Nowhere. The whole front of the store contains locally themed t-shirts, coffee mugs, magnets, stickers, and much more. Now that's the area that you had to drag me out of. Then there are other areas in the store that I literally had to drag my wife out of. It seemed like she had a gift picked out for everybody. For our moms, our sisters, and our nieces, she found some really cool purses, aprons, jewelry, artwork, and other neat decorations. For our sons and nephews, she found some stylish outdoor gear and clothes. And once I dragged her out of that area, I discovered that they have a really cool outside patio area where you can buy one-of-a-kind yard decorations, wind chimes, patio art, and more. Then, when you're tired from all the shopping and need something sweet to eat, look no further than Lola's Pastry, Bread, and Jam Bakery, located right inside of In Rug Co. All of their sweet treats are baked from 100% scratch using no preservatives. To truly get a sense of all that In Rug Co. has to offer, you have to visit their store. Again, at 220 East Mishawaka Avenue, across from the Central Park entrance. Once you're there, you'll understand why I'm describing this place so enthusiastically and why I'm so excited that I get to advertise for them, as they are a locally owned small family business who is entrenched in our community and dedicated to seeing it thrive. I think their own description of In Rug Co. says it all. If you are tired of big box retail stores without personality and artistic flair, our studio offers a true shopping experience with genuine customer engagement and service. And folks, go to their website, indianarugco.com, to check out all that they have to offer. I included a link in the show notes as well. And now, back to the episode.
Again, you guys have been around for a while here. Are there any local folks, people who just stand out as some of your favorite people that you have interacted with over the years in our area?
Oh, God.
Boy, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. You know, some of the people that I got to know really well, unfortunately, have passed. When my brother Bob was here, the coaches then, Joe Yanto, George Kelly, Brian Bullock.
We saw his wife last night.
Yeah, Brian Bullock was one of the great coaches that I had here, and just that booming low voice of his. And his wife Mickey, I guess, still comes to a lot of events, and we happened to be with her at an event the other night here on campus, and it was great to see her. I guess that's what's cool to see when we run into some of the people that we've known for years. Because listen, time changes. You know, there's turnover. So you don't know the people as much, but we've gotten to know Father Jenkins a lot, especially you have.
Father Nate.
Father Nate, the chaplain for the football team. The ADs we've always known really well.
And we've gotten to know the people who are involved with the charities that we deal with our foundation, like Steve over at the Homeless Center, and a few people at Logan Center we've gotten to know really well. So, I mean, it's just kind of integrating yourself into the community and getting to know the people that make all of these things work, you know, make the community run. So yeah, we just love, you know, getting a chance to see how that works. So
that's great. That's great. So who in Notre Dame's past, you know, not alive anymore, but who in Notre Dame's past would you want to hang out with for a day, and why?
Wow. I mean, maybe Father Hesper.
I was going to say, we got a short time with Father Ted. A few years before he died, and what a storyteller! I mean,
it's his office and the ancillary parts to his office.
Have you been in his office?
No.
I mean, I think you can make appointments to go in there. Can't you?
Really?
Yeah,
pictures with popes.
Yeah.
I mean, pictures with some of the highest people in the world.
He got to go in that fighter jet that no civilians ever been in.
It's stunning. His life. So we just walked. We did get an audience with him with our family, and it was just, it's reverent, you know, when you're sitting with him. But then you see the life he lived, and at some point, one of the most 25 influential people in the world, probably near the top.
Wow.
I mean, really an incredible life and legacy that he's left here at Notre Dame.
It would definitely be him, I think.
Yeah.
I think he would be the most interesting to. Father Soren would be interesting if you want to go way, way back.
You know, if you really want to go way, way back, I'm a sports guy. You know, Newt Rockney obviously would be. It would definitely be someone long ago that really started the lore, what has become the lore and legacy of Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. One more little local question, then we'll get into the Golic Family Foundation. What's your favorite local restaurant?
Ha!
Oh, don't make us pick.
Wow.
Okay.
Well,
what are a few of your favorite?
So, I mean, one of the ones we love the most is Rocco's.
Yeah.
Which is, we could literally walk to it from Notre Dame Ave.
Not right now with the construction.
No, not with the construction. But our guy Warren there, who's running it now, his wife's family is the one who started it years ago, and I love the shirts that they wear. It says the other tradition in South Bend. You know, but it's just a nice, comfortable place to go.
Yeah.
And it's got great food.
Yep.
Just nice people.
We like the Lauber.
The Lauber as well, right?
We like Brew Burger right in Eddy Street.
Right
You
in
can
Eddy
walk
Street.
there. It's
Big
good.
fans there. We're breakfast people as well. We like Uptown.
And Pegs.
Uptown, which is over in Granger, and then Pegs, which is downtown. As well. So we definitely have our spot, and we'll of course find food. I don't mind the food, but it just sustains us to gamble. We eat at the casino as well.
Yeah, that's been a great new addition.
Yeah.
To
Oh, it's been phenomenal for two people who love to gamble. Yes, it has.
But let me turn the tables on you since you've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
What are some local places that we're missing
Yeah.
that you think we should go to?
For breakfast, I even did an interview the owners of it, Alley's Cafe. It's on Mishawaka Avenue.
Okay.
All you guys would need to do is take Twickenham south all the way to Mishawaka Avenue and hang a left.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But Alley's Cafe is
Okay.
a wonderful local spot. They even close their restaurant on Sundays. So all of their longtime employees can just be with their families. So
Families.
they're not open Sundays.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's a good breakfast spot there. I'm
We'll
trying
try
to
that.
think here
Uh-huh.
for
Yeah, we're big breakfast
Yeah,
people.
What about like, do you have a sandwich place or like a lunch, like just
where like the Chicory Cafe downtown we'll go
Okay.
to.
Okay, I haven't been to
For a
that. but
lunch.
I've
I haven't been
heard
to
about
that either.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a neat little spot
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's a cool dinner spot in Mishawaka. It's called Jesus's. Oh, it's in a former old Carnegie library. They renovated the whole spot. It's more of a more not uppity, but more of a spot with really nice Latin food.
That if it's more upscale, that's not for us.
I know we've rarely been there.
I tell you another place we forgot to mention that you will just get your fill. We'll usually go there and just do appetizers and dessert because the dessert's so good, and that's yesterday's.
Have you been there?
Is that in Granger?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my! The desserts.
Really?
You don't even want. We don't rarely eat dinner there anymore because we're too full for the dessert.
We just really get apps
We
and
do.
dessert.
We
yeah.
get apps and dessert because the dessert is
I mean,
unbelievable.
It's no lie. They make a bowl of whipped cream. You can't see me. This is bad for podcast.
Yeah.
But I mean, put your arms out and wrap like a tree hug.
And you walk in and you see
See it.
that bowl
Whipped
full of
cream.
whipped cream. You want to stick your face into it. It
Just
is
goodness.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But we'll have to try those places,
Yes.
Alley's especially, because we're
Alley's Cafe.
Yeah.
Go on a Saturday morning or even during the week when you're there,
Yep.
and it's just a neat spot. And I started going there even when my little guys were little babies, and all the waitresses in there, googling over them. And then now when they walk in, it's just one of
you like those kind of places,
Uh-huh.
where they just see you growing there. Yeah, we like to work out in the morning and then go after. Is it like one of those places that like closes at 2 or 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
And that's
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, just breakfast, lunch. That's
yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Perfect. Right up our alley.
All right. Well, hey, I want to get into the Golic Family Foundation a little bit here. It gives back to the greater South Bend community, to the tune, your website said, to the tune of over $250,000 so far.
Yes.
And so those are statistics on a page, $250,000. Me as a longtime educator in our community, working with our families, working with families in need, and working with these, my boots are on the ground, and I have seen the impact of these charitable organizations have on our families. So I just, on behalf of some of our families, I just want to thank you for your contributions over the years. Talk to me how the Golic Family Foundation started.
Well, we wanted to do something in the South Bend community, and we had a friend, Mara Gallagher, who works doing golf tournaments and whatnot, and she approached us like, you guys should do a golf tournament in South Bend. And we're like, you think that's a good idea, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, I think it would do great. So we said, okay, we're going to give it a try. And we put the foundation together, and we sat down as a family and we decided, God bless Notre Dame, but they get plenty in people's pockets, plenty.
Plenty of the endowment at Notre Dame, right? Our few thousand isn't going to,
So we said, Notre Dame and the South Bend community have been a second home to us. I said,
right.
We want the money to go to the local charities. So we've really focused on 5 charities with our golf tournament: the Logan Center, the Center for the Homeless, the Humane Society. We added Ronald McDonald House,
right?
And
Cultivate.
Those are the ones that we focus on for our golf tournament. But we've also paired with Credit Union One. And during the year, they have been so gracious, and they have funded $100,000 a year for us to give to different charities.
This is separate from the golf tournament money we make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So quarterly, we go through the applications that we get, and we decide, depending on who sends what in, how many we get, how we're going to divide the money, and we try to do $25,000 a quarter. So last quarter we gave only one grant for a full $25,000, but this quarter I just went through, and it's funny. Adams High School was on there. I think they're redoing a weight room or something. So unbeknownst to them at this point, you're breaking the news here.
Yeah.
they are going to get some of the money from this quarter. So they're definitely on the list. Yeah. So we like to help where we can, where it can make the biggest impact with the money.
So like some of those, the quarterly ones, we'll do actually 5 and split it 5,000 each for the 25,000. We'll do 2 at 12, 5, 3, however that's divided in, and we'll just kind of decide at the time. But this, as Chris has said a lot, we've been interviewed for this is not only Notre Dame, we know they get their fair share, and national charities and foundations do as well. Not to say that they aren't great things to contribute to, but we like the local aspect of understanding that even if it's $5,000 goes a long way to a foundation or a charity in the South Bend area. 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, and it was great. The first year. We met Todd Gunderson, who runs Credit Union 1, and he's like, hey, I got an idea. And we talked after the first tournament. He said, we'd like to partner up with you guys. And we're like, okay. I mean, we're still really in the infancy. This is just the third year of it. We're still, one of the big things we're trying to do is make more local business connections. We've done a lot more nationally, but we'd like more, since a lot of the money's, or just about all the money's going local, we'd like to get more local companies involved. So it's still evolving in just its third year, but being able to help that many people already just in the first 2 years has been, it's a great feeling, and we get to meet them. They'll come into Credit Union 1, we'll do pictures and we'll talk about it. So what you were talking about before and what Chris has talked about, hearing their stories of how that amount of money helps them.
Right.
Yep. Even like the Logan Center. I mean, my wife was a caseworker for adults with developmental disabilities, and we've partnered with Logan Center with some of our kiddos in my schools over the years, and it's just like, what a great local organization.
It really is. It really is. And the impact that they have on the community, like, you can't help but want to support them. And
that was one, that Red Nose Run or whatever. We've been supporting that before we even started this foundation. Well,
they have the Red Nose Day, and then they have the run in August.
The run,
the little run.
Yeah.
So,
and when Charlie Weiss was here, his daughter has the
global
Hannah's house.
It was Hannah and Friends. We're
Hannah and Friends.
We were big into that, and then Logan Center acquired them, so they're all together now as well. So, like we said, the new one this year is one of the new ones is the Ronald McDonald House. So we have the two separate: the golf tournament where that money goes, and then the rest of the year with the help of Credit Union 1 where that money goes.
That's so awesome. It's so great. You mentioned the golf tournament.
Yeah.
It's a big weekend. Just talk to us about it.
We're a week away.
Yeah.
So things are revving up around here. Our house is very full of boxes right now, preparing for the golf tournament, but we're excited. We've got a lot of guys coming in. Brady Quinn's coming in. A lot of former players are coming in. Right.
Like Tim Brown made it last year, couldn't make it this year.
Jack Shields,
who, oh, by the way, is donating the most amount of money to the new football thing, the new football building.
Okay.
He played with Mike.
He played with me.
Actually, Charlie Weiss is going to be in town this year, so he's going to be at the party on Saturday night. So.
Yeah, he's going to be in town. Alan Pinkett, a guy I played with as well, not only here but in the NFL as well. It's mostly been Notre Dame former players, our friends, quite honestly.
We've got like Dane Chris, Braxton Cave from our
guys
kids'
that we
age.
know, guys we know are going to be really good with people. We haven't gone outside of that much except for Mike Eruzione from the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, which is a pretty big thing. He happens to be our daughter-in-law's godfather. So we've known him over the years as well.
He's come to the tournament.
But I mean, it's coming up. If we didn't, Mara Gallagher though, as Chris mentioned before, she's so good at setting everything up. But I'm always amazed because I've been on the other end of it, being called and asked to come to events like this. So now all of a sudden we're, calling our friends, and it's like, it's cool to see them. Oh yeah, I look forward to it. Want to show up for you because you're taking their time,
right?
Right. And they want to show up and they want to help, and so that's been a really cool thing. And that's what a lot of the people that come to it, especially the party the night before, they get to hang out with the former players and such. So it's
and
a
there's
cool
current
thing.
players.
Yes,
we have current players at the event too. Like Riley Leonard will be there this year. Last year we had Sam Hartman there and a bunch of his teammates.
You used to not be able to do that, with all the different NCAA rules and everything.
Yeah.
Now we've gotten football players there, lacrosse players, women basketball, men's basketball, women's swimming.
Yep.
So they're all allowed to come and help out. They'll be there on the golf event day. I think one of the coolest things was the hockey players. A couple of them were on one of the greens and they putted with their hockey stick. And if they made it, you picked up an extra stroke. So cool. It's a cool thing. I actually just played golf with one of the new kicker this year, Mitch Jeter, who transferred from South Carolina. I happened to be golfing the other day and he was alone. So we golfed together. I have never seen a non-professional golfer hit the ball as far as him. So I recruited him already.
People.
He's going to be one of the drivers on one of the holes. He'll just sit there and drive for everybody. So it's cool to have the current athletes now be allowed to be involved. I think the people who are golfing really kind of dig that.
The one one other thing I wanted to throw in, one twist that we did this year is we made tickets available for the party the night before.
Right.
So if people don't like to golf, that they can still come be at the party. The party's in Notre Dame Stadium in the concourse.
Yeah.
They can come and be a part of it and give back to the community.
Yeah, it's the first time we've had it in the stadium concourse. We saw the reunion one year had some stuff in there. We thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to be outside, deal with the tent, deal with weather, because last year we were in a tent, we got rained on.
Yeah.
So this time you're in the concourse, you can go up into the stands, take pictures by the field and stuff. So it's
literally in the concourse.
The concourse, right where you walk in the gates, where all the banners hang and everything.
Yep.
We're gonna have we're gonna transform it out.
Yeah, sofas and chairs and couches and things like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
That sounds like a blast. And I was just gonna say, with the athletes helping out now or being there, these are just kids. These are 18 to 22-year-olds, and so what they're seeing is somebody giving back to their adopted community, and so at one point they're going to move out and move away, and so it's good for them also.
Definitely,
it is nice to see that they can see that, because Marcus Freeman has done a great job in kind of connecting the former player. They call it Legacy Weekend for the Blue Gold game. Of bringing in former players, because when Brian Kelly was here, he really didn't do that. There was really a lot of separation, and Marcus has done that. So you really get the cohesiveness of the current players meeting the former players. So this is another chance, because there's a lot of former players there for them to kind of interact with each other.
Man, that's so neat. That's so neat. All right. Well, hey, that's pretty much all I have. I thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, we really do. And if anybody's listening, GolicFamilyFoundation.com is our website. We'll have all the information on there about the golf tournament, or if people want to just come to the party before or donate or whatever they want to do. It's we appreciate anything.
Absolutely. And I'll be sure to put all those links in the show notes, and on my different social media posts, I'll share that out as well. And most of my listeners are local. I mean, some have ties here and have moved away as well. And so, you mentioned earlier about potential small businesses. I mean, I know there's small business owners who are listeners and followers. So I would love to continue to link you guys up. So
that's great.
That's great.
We appreciate it very much.
Well, thank you so much for can I get a quick picture? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I've never taken a picture on a computer here. So
I don't know how that's going to work.
Good luck.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You got it.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Round the Bend Now and Then. An extra thank you to Mike and Chris Golic for being so gracious with your time, and also gracious with the host of this little podcast. I am so truly thankful. Again, folks, go to the show notes and click on GolicFamilyFoundation.com and check out ways that you can help. And as you heard Mike in this episode, if there are any small local businesses out there who would like to partner up, be sure to reach out. Join us again next time for another episode of Round the Bend Now and Then.